Are you tired of reinventing the wheel for every single client that you've got, from custom proposals to bespoke work that you're doing? What if I told you that there was a way to scale your service business, make more money, and work less? Welcome to the world of productized services. Hey, I'm Ray Green, corporate refugee, former CEO of a private equity-backed company turned nomad entrepreneur, building a business from Cabo, living here with my family. Today, we're going to talk about productized services and how I've leveraged productized services to transform my business. We're going to dive into what those are. When I started building my consulting business, I did what many of you, I'm sure, did. I put myself out there. I leveraged my network. I leveraged all the strengths that I have from experience. And I just did what I needed to do to start getting clients. I was making decent money when I started out, but I was working my ass off, and I was making less than I did in corporate, which was not the goal. I was working more and making less. And it was because I was offering bespoke work. I was solving different problems for different audiences. And virtually every new client that I got was kind of like starting over. And the way that I would assess new prospects, I would get a referral from somebody and they'd tell me what their problem was. And the way that I looked at it was, okay, do they have budget, like, to pay me sufficiently? That was like obviously first. But then I just say, all right, is this a problem that I can solve? Is it in my wheelhouse? And that's how I got clients. But that's what led to this kind of treadmill motion of every new project felt like something new instead of leveraging the experience and everything else up to that point. And that's when I was introduced to productized services. Productized services, like, no bullshit, literally transformed my entire business. It changed the trajectory and what I was doing in every aspect of the business. It changed it in marketing. It changed how I sold. It changed how I delivered services. I could systematize things, which allowed me to start hiring people. The best part of it was the work that I was doing continued to get better because it was consistently in the same space. So what do I mean when I talk about productized services? What I mean by it is it's basically a standardized service that you sell at a fixed price and you deliver in a consistent process. Like, essentially what you're taking is the intuition and the expertise that's living up here, and you're putting it into a system and a process to solve a specific problem for a specific audience in a consistent way. It allows you to systematize more than just the delivery. Again, the marketing gets a hell of a lot easier because you're talking to a similar audience about similar things. Like, you understand the problems that are associated with the service that you're offering. You understand the pains that they're causing that audience. That makes your marketing hit way harder. It's going to be easier to sell. It's going to be easier to sell because you're not on a call listening for, okay, is this a problem that I can solve? Is this in my wheelhouse? Do I have to come up with like a service on the fly? Like, do I have to create some type of new offer, basically, because this is a new problem I haven't necessarily solved before, but I think that I could, right? So sales gets easier. I'm selling a thing to solve a thing. It also gets easier for everything else that's associated with the growth. Custom proposals, out the window. I haven't done a custom proposal in over 3 years because the content is fundamentally the same. The price is fundamentally the same. No longer am I going, all right, I'm going to write a custom proposal. I'm going to write these services, these parameters, this many hours. How much can I charge? Like, I don't want to charge too much. They'll say no. I don't want to charge not enough and sell myself short. Like, all of that out the window. Like, this has been standardized. So one example may be like a content marketing agency. They offer fixed price per month. You're going to get X number of blog posts. We're going to write X number of newsletters. We're going to do X number of social media posts, something like that. Could be like a software development agency, like maybe a company that's doing websites, and they create a framework and a system to crank those things out, and they have a fixed standardized price for doing it. Or maybe it's a coaching program where you're moving your clients through a process that you've designed that you know is going to help them get the transformation that they want. And so you've got consistency there. You need a few things if you want to productize. The first is you've got to have a really clear understanding of who your market is. Who is the target market? Who is the ideal client profile? This doesn't work if you're trying to sell to 15 disparate audiences, and it doesn't work if you're trying to sell 3, right? You need to dial in who your target market is. Who are you going to be selling this to, and understand them? Second thing is you need a clear problem to solve, all right, for that audience. What is the problem that you are going to build a solution for? This is entrepreneurial thinking. This isn't, I'm going to be a freelancer type of consultant. This is entrepreneurial thinking. What is the problem that you're going to solve? And we're going to build a productized service to help solve that. right? You're going to deliver a specific transformation, a consistent transformation. The third thing is, what's the clear process that you have or that you can design to help solve that problem? What is the process that you can use that you know is going to get your target market the transformation that they want consistently, right? When you start productizing, you start systematizing your services, some people automatically assume that that means shitty quality, right? That, hey, now that everything's standardized, people aren't going to get what they pay for. Wrong. I think of it like on a continuum, right? Like there is, on the one end, you've got completely bespoke services. On the other end, you've got products. Think digital course. I don't have to do shit. Like if somebody buys it, there's virtually no service that's associated. It's a continuum. Like you can choose how productized you want your service to be. Over here, you've got Michelin rated chef comes to your house and makes you a custom meal. Right? Over here, you've got pre-packaged sandwich at the airport. And then you've got everything that's in between. You've got McDonald's. You have Chipotle. You have Olive Garden. Those things might be reversed. I don't know. You've got Olive Garden. You've got Nobu. You've got 11 Madison Park in New York City. Incredible. But there's a continuum. There are options. The more productized that you get, the more scalable that your service is. But that doesn't mean there's only one way to do this. You get to move that lever back and forth. How productized do you want to be? But your services don't get shittier by default. They become standardized. And technically, you should get better at delivering them. The more consistently that you solve a problem, the more you know about that market, the more you know about that problem, the better that you get, the better your execution gets, the better the results get. So just like any other product, that product should improve over time, which makes it more valuable, which allows you to charge more money. And the more systematized it is, the easier it gets. So it's literally more money and less time. But again, you get to choose that path. Am I going to be completely bespoke? Maybe just move to standardized just a little bit? Or do I want to go full on products? But one thing is for sure, if you want to be the Michelin rated chef that shows up to do custom meals at people's houses, just remember, you've got to charge significantly more for your work to make really good money. The audience for that is going to be substantially smaller. It's going to be harder to find. You're going to have a hard time getting help, right? Like you're going to have a hard time hiring people to actually help you because nothing's systematized. There's no SOP to hand somebody. There's no recipe to give somebody to get some help. And when you don't work, the business doesn't run. And that's a challenge for a lot of people. That's not the way that I want to run my business, but it is for some people. If you're bogged down doing everything and you're doing custom work, you're doing, everything that I've been talking about, consider productizing, like some standard solution, some standard pricing, some standard processes to break free of that. Did you enjoy the video? Feel free to hit that like button and subscribe for more just like this. And if you like this video on productizing, I think you'll like this one next.